Have you ever noticed how there are just some moments, whether you're leaving a meeting, you've just had a feedback session, or you're at coffee with a friend and something was said or done that didn't quite land right? It's kind of feeling a little personal now. And have you noticed how those feelings kind of just linger and they really take away from our effectiveness and our productivity for the remainder of the day sometimes, and even maybe carrying over for a few more days beyond that or longer? Well, you're not alone. This is what we call taking things personally, and there's some really great reasons as to why we do. My name's Tammy Dunnett, and I'm your leadership and communication skills coach. And in today's video, I want to address this question that I get asked so many times in a variety of different forms, but it all comes down to, how do I not take things so personally? Now, as I mentioned, there's a really good reason as to why we take things personally, and it all boils down to our values. There are values that we think we're being forthright about, that we're presenting ourselves in a certain way, and others just don't see it or choose not to see it. So for example, when you're in this meeting and things are starting to get heated and people aren't backing down, it can be really difficult to hear each other, and that magnifies how we start to take things personally because, gosh, why do they keep dismissing me? Or why won't they listen to me? Or why is my work never good enough? It all becomes about us in the moment. So in today's video, I want to share with you some scripts you can use to maybe diffuse the tension in the moment, and also a process that you can use if you're not comfortable diffusing the tension in the moment, so you can close that loop and do a post-conversation debrief. Now, if you are comfortable saying something in the moment, like you recognize you're starting to feel a little bit personal about the topic, your defenses are starting to rise, you're feeling like that fight or flight stress energy is buzzing through your veins right now, and you want to take a shot at decreasing it right now in this moment, here's the strategy that I recommend you use. The first little bit should be about them. The second piece that you say should be about you. And the third piece should be about how do we move forward. So it may sound something like this. I can hear that what you have to say is really important, and I want to be able to consider it. I'm having a really hard time hearing it and focusing on it because of the tone in which you're sharing it. Is there another way that we can structure this? So the first part is about them, and when I say it's about them, I want you to let them know that they're valued, they're important, and what they say is worthy of being heard. The second part is about you, and what you're sharing is the barriers you're having in accomplishing step number 1, valuing and hearing what they have to say. And the third thing is, how do we work together to get rid of that barrier? Now, the reason I have you valuing them first is because that's going to let them feel seen and heard, even in a moment when they're really tense, even when they're heated. It's putting them ahead of you, and that will help them to go, okay, all right, you do want to hear what I have to say. Let me just kind of gather my thoughts. Let me see if I can de-escalate, and we'll carry on. Now, not everyone's comfortable or prepared to address it in the moment, and that's quite normal as well. Work your way to the place where you can feel confident that when you have scripts like this, that you can use them and in a non-defense arousing way. So that means you're unattached to the outcome. But if you're not comfortable addressing it in the moment, there still needs to be some work done, because we're currently embattled in this conversation that I'm taking things personally and I'm starting to tune out to the good stuff, and I'm making it all about me. So here is what you were challenged to do, which I think the second method is harder to do than simply addressing it. And I recognize that for some, this would be the preferred pathway. In the moment, voices are raising, people are not happy. Your task is to listen past, and I'm closing my eyes as if I'm actually trying to do it. Listen past the tone of voice. Listen past the mode of delivery and actually hear the words, which can be incredibly difficult. And you're going to focus on the words and connecting them to the objectives and the outlines or the decisions that need to be made. So, for example, someone's like, oh my God, you never consider what I have to say. It's like nothing I do is good enough for you. Can be a lot of defense arousing emotions there, and you can want to rebut right away. But instead, if you hear what they're saying, you can then ask, what I'm hearing you say is that you feel like I'm not hearing your contributions and that what you do isn't good enough. Is that correct? You want to verify it. That will give them an opportunity to validate, explore, maybe, even get a little bit more micro as to what's really going on. And then you're going to want to do step 2, which is for you, is to lean into empathy and go, okay, this is a lot of internal work. The step 2 is something's up here. I didn't expect this reaction. Did they get some bad news before this meeting? Could it be that they're just under a lot of pressure? Are they worried about their job? Like, what's going on that's creating this kind of energy right now? Because I wasn't expecting it. So empathy is about staying curious, and that's going to help you in step number 3. While you're in the meeting, empathy will help you to focus on the words and not the delivery while you're being curious. And you can ask some questions. You can even say in the meeting, I wasn't expecting this kind of passion from you. This is something I've not seen from you before. Is there something going on that I don't know about? You can ask a curious question. But in the event that that's not even comfortable, you're going to do a post-conversation debrief. These conversations do need to be had, okay? You can't let it go, because if you do, that personal attack's going to stay with you, and the next time you see this person, guess what? It's going to be there hanging around you like a cloud, and it's going to impact that relationship going forward. And the reason a post-event debrief is beneficial is that it helps people to get out of the energy of the moment, kind of gives them separation from the triggering event and what they really want to achieve, and allows you to come in with a clean slate. So in that closing the loop, or that post-event debrief, what you want to be doing is addressing the behavior you experienced, sharing the boundaries and expectations, and then identifying how to go forward. All right. So this I caution, because I don't want you to go in there hierarchical and say, hey, we have a workplace of respect policy, you're not following it, because that sounds very hierarchical. And while yes, you may be completely within your rights to do that if you're in the leadership position, a improved way, dare I say better way, would be just to sit in curiosity first and share your observations. You know, the last time we had a conversation about topic X, you were really passionate, and I wasn't expecting that. The tone that you used kind of took me off guard, and it's not something I've seen from, or do we really promote here? Was there something else going on? Gives them an opportunity to talk about what was behind it, and collectively then you can talk about, well, what are we going to do going forward? Because we know respectful workplace is an extremely high value here, and we need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So you can bring it up without sounding like you are parenting them. Now I'm going to add a 4th step here, and I think this is actually probably one of the more critical steps if you don't address it in the meeting, because everybody else who was sitting around that table observed it. They need to be part of the closure. So as you have your post-event debrief with the partner with whom you were in conflict with, they need to know that part of the resolution and the agreement going forward is that this event will be talked about at the next team meeting, not disclosing personal details, but to share that you guys have identified there was a problem, that communication was not ideal, that there is an expectation, and that you have an agreement going forward. If you don't close that loop, the other people who witness that meeting will think that your leadership is not good. They need to know that you're addressing the poor behavior, because if you don't, that's like throwing rocks through a window and never replacing the window. And if you've ever walked down a street where somebody doesn't replace their window after a rock's been through it, another rock is thrown into another window. You will have a toxic workplace really quickly if you don't close that loop. So there's my recommendation. Either address it in the moment with a safe conversation starter, like I had shared with you earlier, or listen past the tone, focus on the objectives and the words they're sharing, lean into empathy, post-event debrief, and close the loop with the team. Follow for more information on how to have healthy conversations in the workplace and to build your leadership credibility.